Hello everyone and welcome to Real with Rayo. I'm Arayo and today I have a special guest, Joan.
Hi.
Joan is an entrepreneur, screenwriter, teacher, model, and the founder of Beuree, a brand rooted in storytelling, identity, and empowerment.
Oh my gosh, girl.
Jo is someone who doesn't just dream big. She executes with heart, vision, and consistency.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to speak to her today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
I am a bit nervous, but I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine.
Is this your first ever podcast?
Yes, first ever podcast, but not first interview, but first podcast or situation. So yeah, but I am excited because you're doing really well, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm very happy to be here. I feel honored.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing really well. And it takes a lot for someone to actually think of something and bring it out and do it. Do you get what I mean? So
are you in my head? Because that is exactly what we're going to be speaking about
really?
today. Yes.
Okay.
So I've been thinking a lot about the phenomenon of an idea, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard this phenomenon that when you have an idea and you don't execute it and you see someone else execute it, the reason that is because we're all operating in one consciousness and God wants that idea to be out in the world.
Oh.
So if you don't execute it, he's going to plant that idea
someone
into
else.
someone else's head for them to execute it.
True.
How do you feel about that?
I hear it. I do, because I know Michael Jackson talked about it. He said something about, if I don't do it, God will give the idea to Prince or something like that.
Yes.
Did you hear about that?
I saw that actually in an interview or something.
Literally.
I remember seeing that a couple of days ago. Exactly.
Yeah. And then he was saying that he literally had to call his manager or whatever and say, let's go to the studio right now and let's execute it right now. And I agree with it, because I think that the people that actually execute stuff, the distance between the idea and the execution is really short, really small. And I think that's something that we're all literally learning right now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I also think different ideas require different things. Some need patience, some need fire, and some need instantaneous action, like you said, where you really, like Michael Jackson, you're like, I need this done yesterday.
Yeah.
So as a multifaceted creative, how do you know what bucket your idea belongs to when you receive an idea?
Oh, I actually don't know in the moment until probably when I'm trying to compartmentalize in my head. So sometimes I'm thinking about doing something extravagant, right? If I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be such a crazy video idea. Obviously, that's in the video editing creativity bag, right? But then there's some areas that I'm like, oh, okay, now I have to really think about the logistics. So now I'm backing admin, and then you have to, I think that is so many different facets. So most of the time I find that a couple of them might be what's the word that we use? It's not co-joined. What is when you say something is joined together?
Conjoined.
Maybe that. Okay. But that, sometimes I actually don't know until I'm in the process of doing it. And sometimes it's as clear as day, oh, okay, this is under my film bag, or sometimes this is okay, this is supposed to be for Beuree. Do you get what I mean? But sometimes I don't know.
How do you typically receive your ideas? Are they sparked in silence, or is it when you're doing something?
Girl, it's always when I am in the shower or I am on a walk. So I walk so much now. Or I'm listening to music. It has to be something where my mind feels at peace. Because if I'm busy, mentally, I'm not in that space. I think my brain has to be sort of at peace and quiet for me to get my juice again. Do you get what I mean? But if it's not quiet, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Really?
I have to be really present. I always get ideas in the shower.
Yes.
Yes. Or when I'm doing my makeup, or
Oh my gosh, me too.
or like
actually.
skincare. It's like when I'm really just present and doing mundane stuff.
Yes.
My ideas just come in, and
Comfort you, right? Yeah.
I literally have to get my notes out,
Yeah.
or like record it, or
do you do the voice notes thing?
I do, because
Oh
I'm
my gosh,
I'm an
girl.
audio girl, so even when I'm
that's so
like
weird.
practicing for a presentation, sometimes I'll just like record it and then I'll listen to it back, so it helps me remember what I'm going to say.
That's good.
'Cause
That's
I'm an
why you're a
audio
good
learner.
speaker.
Oh, thank you.
You're a really
Yeah,
good
that's probably
speaker.
why actually, because
Yeah.
I like audio, but I'm also visual. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because you know how to articulate yourself really well, so it comes with practice.
Thank you. I do think
Yeah.
that's definitely a practice thing.
Practice.
Okay, so when was the last idea you received and executed?
Executed. I would say my last TikTok. Where I just thought, no, the second to the last one, where I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this thing on TikTok where I just chill and I'm going to record it. And I want people to join in on those chilling sessions. But that was the last one, I think. The others, I think this was also one of them. Like when you asked to do this, and I was like, immediately, yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's
but
so
then,
sweet.
Then again, that wasn't my idea. That was God using you.
Yeah,
like, so
really?
It wasn't, yeah.
You know what's crazy? Oh, he's a mutual friend. Yeah. He sent me your page and he was like, oh, I have someone that I think will be great for role with Rayo. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay.
Shout out to Ohi's. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And immediately when he sent me your page and I looked at your website, which is amazing, I was like, immediately, yes.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate that.
You are the archetype of what I want Real Rayo guests to be.
Stop it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That means a lot to me.
Of course.
Thanks, girl.
So, how do you decide what idea is worth pursuing and what is worth leaving?
I think it sounds really spiritual, but it has to do a lot with, okay, first of all, finances. There's some things that you're like, okay, I can't afford this right now, but I'll do it maybe next year, right? But then there's some that you're like, it doesn't really feel like authentic to who I am, and I want whatever I'm doing to feel authentic to who I am and who I'm portraying and the type of branding that I want for, especially whenever I'm creating something, it has to, like, I have to feel it, like, and not doubt. But if I get to the point where I'm questioning, I have to answer the questions that I'm asking myself. And if I can't answer those questions, then I'm not going to do it. And it has a lot to do with my motive as well. If I think, oh, am I doing this to make people feel like, oh my God, yes, she's arrived, or like, yes, she's doing something impressive, or am I actually doing it because I believe in it? And I always ask myself that. And if I, even for the, like, even a slight pinch of me is like, oh, actually, yeah, I'm going to get clout for this. No. Like, I don't, I stop myself. I never do it. So that's how I think I navigate that. And I pray about it as well.
I love that you spoke about it being a spiritual thing, because I truly believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh, really?
I've been growing in my faith, and it's funny that before you even knew what this episode was about, you went straight into saying, like, you know, ideas and execution, because that's what I had in mind to frame this episode. And I think that's just affirmed to me that you are the person I'm supposed to be speaking to today.
No, you're actually gassing me at this point.
No, genuinely though, because I mean, I can show you after. I literally wrote Joan Okwori, ideas and execution.
Wow, that's God.
That is God.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Okay. And I love that you mentioned the intent behind the idea, because I really think intent in any creative pursuit is super important, because you want to make sure that your motive is pure. And I believe that sometimes when we have ideas, sometimes our ideas almost like foreshadowing the person we're supposed to be. So if you honor that obedience from God, he will just take charge of the rest, because the idea has come from him. And sometimes the idea comes before the person you're supposed to be for you to execute it. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the idea is just the preparation. And then
I agree.
The execution is the answered prayer.
How did you come up with that?
When I was preparing for your episode.
Stop.
Yeah, I literally went to a cafe shop yesterday and I was just thinking about it, because as a multifaceted creative, I think there's so many things I could speak to you about, and we're going to get into it. But I really thought about the fact that, you know, you have a candle business to bear, which is over there.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we couldn't put it on the table because it might fall. But yeah, you have a candle business called Beuree. You're also a screenwriter as well. You're a model, you're creative. So I just thought a consistent thread is ideas and execution.
Yeah.
And you strike me as someone who's really big on action.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's clear. Yeah. So I was really inspired by that. And I thought that's something I want to speak.
That's really nice. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that.
So, do you remember the exact time you had the idea for Beuree?
Yeah, I do. I think, so I was living with my best friend. Her name's Glory. She's no longer here with us. But she, at the time, I had just gone out of uni. I didn't have a place to stay. I just moved to London and I was staying in her living room. And I was there for like 2 years, like a year and a half. It's been a while. Like I was there for a while. But I would always like light a candle. And the thing is, I remember one day just being in the room and just thinking like, God, when am I like actually gonna find somewhere stable like for myself? And I remember crying, like literally saying like, I appreciate my best friend and I love her so much, but I also don't ever want to feel like a burden. But then the thing about the candles is it just made me feel like I was at home. Like I can do it here and it just makes me feel like, okay, yeah, Joan, you're right where you're supposed to be. And that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to make my own candles. And I researched and I was just looking at obviously the popular candle brands like the Jo Malones, the etc. And I was just thinking like, what type of ingredients do they use? And at the time, my best friend was ill. She had stage 4 cancer. So it was like a thing of kind of also paying attention to like, if I were to make her a candle, what would that, and she was the first person to ever buy from me. So that was like, literally, it was everything to me. But so my first ever candle was like, she bought that. And I remember talking to her about the idea. She was like, you should do it. And I was thinking like, do you actually think that I can? And she was like, yes, of course you can. I did a lot of research and I thought, okay, I can use coconut wax. That's really good. That's quite healthy. Making sure that everything I use is quite recycled, like the wick is cotton, like there's nothing in there that's going to harm anyone. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. It took me like 6 months to actually do research.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, because I was testing like percentages with like my fragrance oils and all of this. So it took me a while, but I executed it in the end. I did it.
How long did it take for you to execute it from the initial point you had the idea?
After like 2 to 3 weeks of like doing research, and actually like almost I was unemployed. So by the way, I wasn't working. So I was doing research every day. Like I would wake up and like first thing is like candles. and then I would do like hours and hours on end of just research, reading every single article, like becoming an expert in it. And then after 3 weeks, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start. And then I bought what I could with some of the little savings that I had. And then I bought candles, I bought jars. Like if you see the first candles.
Do you have a picture? Can you send me a picture?
I was like, no, definitely not. I had to rebrand. I had to change. But the thing is, there's something that Grace Beverly said on...
Hardly working.
Yeah, working hard at it. And she said, and what she say? She said that if you don't look back at your first project and cringe, you started too late. And it was really... Honestly, that's how I feel about everything, about film, about Beuree, about everything that I've ever created. The first ever project was abysmal, you know? But I'm happy that I started.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. I definitely cringe when... I can't even watch my videos back, you know, fun fact.
Really?
Yeah, because...
Girl, you should.
No, because sometimes I actually think this is horrible. Because I don't know, because I like things done to the best standard.
Yeah.
I will look back and I will start to criticize every single thing to the point where it's like, girl, you're actually just like beating yourself down. Like, relax, you know?
You need to calm down. You're doing really well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, lovely. But I love that you're honouring your best friend with the candles. Do you feel like that was an intentional choice as well?
At first, no, because I made it before she passed. But the thing is, like, you know, when you're not ready to accept that something has happened.
Yeah.
So the candle she bought till today, I still haven't lit it because we were living together. So I put it in like a glass jar thing for a while. I couldn't, for the life of me, get myself to even do that. But that's because I think every time I see like my Instagram or even when I see like my website, every time I see something with Dubai, I always remember her and how she was so supportive. Like, not every friend is like that. So it does, like, I do remember her in everything. Yeah. But I'm not going to cry.
No, you're making me emotional now.
I'm not going to cry. Okay. But it's also really happy because I know she's at peace. But yeah, it's just something that, you know, I remember every moment.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, I think we both got emotional, but as you know, 2 weeks ago, I don't even think I can talk about it without crying, but I also lost a friend. Okay. Oh my God.
It's okay, girl. You can cry.
It's funny because I always say I'll never cry.
Like, you get what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But the reason I find it so admirable is, as hard as it's been, I'm now constantly thinking of ways that I can honor him, because I think that's something that will never leave me. You know, it's not something I'll ever not think about. But it's really admiring. I can't even speak. It's really admirable what you've done. And I really admire it. Whew. That was hard.
Ciao.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Girl.
So let's switch gears for a bit. How do you push through the initial spark of the idea when all that excitement has started to wear off? Because, you know, when we first receive an idea, it's amazing. We get to mind mapping, making a strategy.
You're like, oh my God, I'm going to...
Exactly.
The tone changes real quick.
How do you stay consistent through the tone change?
Firstly, I just want to say I'm so sorry. Like, I know that...
Don't be sorry.
No, I know that... I can imagine, like, the pain of losing someone that's close to you. It does get better, but you will always have that. And it's a good thing because it means that you really cared about the person. And you will see them again by God's grace, you know? So don't... And I feel like it's okay to, like, grieve, and however that might look like to you is completely fine. But to switch gears, because I know you don't want to talk about it too much. But yeah, like, honestly, you just have to set a plan. You just have to do it. Like, there's no, especially I always book stuff in advance now, like a month, two, like, because then I know that that's the deadline. Like, everything has to be ready by that date. If I haven't booked the hotel we're filming in, if I haven't booked the camera, then the idea is not going to be executed. But if I do that, like, maybe a month in advance, I know that, okay, by this day, I have to have this ready, blah, 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 blah. And then I do it anyway. Like, I just have to push through. Like, it becomes, oh my God, this is a dream. It changes from that being a dream to being like, oh, like, okay, so today we're going to do this and that. So tomorrow we're doing this and that. And it's like little steps. And then eventually the day it happens, you're like, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that's how it is.
That's really beautiful. And I love that you break it down into little bite-sized chunks. Yeah. Because that's been a game changer for me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, because before I would always have the big picture, but then never had the little steps, even with this podcast. And that's something that Ohiz is helping me with as well. Just in terms of, like, having a content calendar and, you know, having things to work around, my 9 to 5 as well, because it's just, you know.
Can I ask what you do?
Busy. Of course. Yes, I work in brand partnerships. We've got this. Have you ever experienced doubt and fear?
Every day. Every single time. I feel like you can't... But fear is starting to disappear. I think doubt is something that kind of whispers. It's like a whisper every time. It's like an idea, like, oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like, can you do it though? Will everything align? Will that even help your clients? Will it help? What's it gonna do? And then I've learned to talk back at that voice. Like, okay, yeah, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. The people that will find me will find me. Like, do you get what I mean? Because if I listen to it, I'm not even gonna do half of the things that I've done. Because then I would immediately be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's not for me. Yeah. Do you ever feel like that when you're like, yeah, like I have an idea, but maybe it's just not for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's funny because I spoke about it in my solo episode I dropped last week.
Yeah.
That it got to a point with this podcast actually. I mean, I think it was spiritual, but I was starting to doubt myself and the entire premise because it felt like just so many things were not working out or were falling through. Like I would have a guest on and then it's like, yes, you know, I want to do it and everything, but for whatever reason or the other, it just doesn't work out. And I started to think, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to do this podcast, but that's a lie.
That's such
a lie.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
It's funny that I can laugh about it now, and I think that's the devil. And sometimes you have to talk back, like you said,
talk back at it. Yeah,
talk back at it, and you know, even the Bible says God hasn't given us a spirit of fear.
Yeah, exactly. So I completely agree, and I think that fear as well, sometimes for me is an indication that what I'm about to do, I haven't done before. And I don't accept it anymore as fear. I think my body's just like, oh, that's concern. That's new. I've never done that. But when I feel like afraid, I don't think I've felt afraid in a very, very long time. And I think it's not because of anything necessarily that I'm doing, but because of, I feel like we're preaching here, but it feels like it feels
Let's
like
get into it. But Church with Rayo and Joan.
But yeah, basically, it feels like I am backed. Like it feels like there's nothing that can actually harm me. That even my mistakes, even the routes that I might go through that might not have been the right ones, I don't think that it can actually harm me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't ever get afraid, but I do have a lot of doubts.
Doubt is very normal.
Yeah.
I think as human beings as well, we're sort of conditioned to doubt ourselves. But it's important that we challenge those doubts and move with audacity. I think that's just it. You just have to really believe that everything you're putting your mind to is going to be successful.
Yeah, I agree.
And act like it's going to be successful. Because once you do that and you talk back, I think it helps push through the little stumbles that we face.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think your voice is very important. Like how you talk to yourself, how you frame things that might have happened in your life, how you talk about your future, like your life. All these things are your words, and life and death in your tongue. Like literally anything that you're saying. I've seen so many people talk so good about themselves and you see it happen and you're like, damn, that person said it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But then
speak into existence.
Yeah, exactly. So I think when you hear the doubts, I think if you ever vocalize them, it should be that you're counteracting them as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about you being a screenwriter.
Oh, okay.
I think that's so cool. So firstly, what birthed your love for screenwriting?
Oh my gosh. My upbringing, my dad is a film head. Like
interesting.
His passion is like photography. So what he would do, he would like, if you go to our first house, we had like just like a cabinet of films. Like he would buy the CDs. I remember one time we wanted to see we were in Lagos on a family trip. And then my dad was like, we saw the trailer for the latest Harry Potter movie. And then my dad was like, you know what, let's go buy it. We just all dressed up and went and made it a whole thing. Went to ShopRite, I think it was, or one more, and then we bought the movie and we came back home. And I think that he just made me fall in love with like the art of like stories through films, because we used to watch a lot together. We'll do like family movie nights, and my dad is just very intentional about those things. And my mom was into acting as well. So she used to
creative parents.
I know. So she used to act, and she was a businesswoman too. So it made it quite easy to fall in love with that. And then by 13, I made like my first short film, and which was terrible, by the way.
It's not on YouTube though.
No. Okay. Forever hidden. Can never be seen. Maybe when I'm like 80 something, I can release it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, maybe like 90s, maybe. I'm like, God is going to take me soon. So I might as well just show the world what that was like. Do you get what I mean? But right now, no.
Right now, it's keep being hidden.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny though, because when I was watching your screenplays on YouTube, like your short films,
a
consistent theme is love. Are you a lover girl?
Oh, am I? I think I am. I think I am, but I think I'm a cautious lover girl. I think that's the word, because like I can be like, when I'm in love, I'm like it's there, but when I'm not, I'm not, and it's just, you know, it's hard to get to that point. Yeah. But when I do, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you're locked in.
Yeah. Are you?
I think I'm exactly like you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when you get me, you get me. But
yeah, I completely hear it, and I agree.
I think you have to work for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
But also, because I know how people are, I try and just protect myself. So I'm a bit more cautious. That's why I love that you said you're a cautious lover girl.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am a cautious lover girl. Did you enjoy the film?
I did. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you off camera, but the second one, I thought that was so interesting. The one with she finds out that she's pregnant and her boyfriend's in prison.
We're doing a part 2, by the way.
Ooh, exclusive.
Filming in the summer of 2025.
Amazing. Yeah. So what birthed that idea?
My friend Temi and I, he came to see Gloria and Gloria was supposed to be, which is my best friend, she was supposed to be in the house, but she wasn't. And I was upset with her, and I was like, oh, this girl didn't come. We're supposed to film today. I was so angry. And Temi was like, why don't we just do something on our own? And then I literally wrote the screenplay. He gave me the idea. I wrote the screenplay, and we were like, okay, cool. So we filmed in like 2 hours, and then we edited it and released it. Wow. Literally like a few days after. Wow. So it was really quick. And I think, from there we started like thinking, okay, how can we bring other creatives into this? Like, we think about an idea, we film it, and then we release it like right away. And we did do that for one film. But then since then we haven't, because we've had like to go like and do other projects individually. But now we're coming back to film Locked In Part 2, which is
Locked
in the summer. And I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I love that you're excited. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful to see an idea come to life. Yeah. And that must be such a fulfilling feeling for you. Yeah. I imagine. Because I'm the exact same way. Once I have an idea and I've executed it, I can't explain the rush it gives me.
It's like, oof.
It's like, oof. It's like
that's done. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear it, and I completely agree with that.
Has one field, in terms of entrepreneurship and screenwriting, has one field sharpened the other?
Yes.
In terms of execution?
Yes.
How so?
So with screenwriting, because I started with screenwriting, and because I wanted to execute my ideas, I had to start acting, and I had to start filming, and I take that love for cinematography into making content for us. So if you check like some of our content, it has a very cinematic feel. It does,
and I love it.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. Even the content on your website with, I think it's called like Unwind with. Unwind. It does have a very cinematography feel.
Thank you.
That makes so much sense.
Thank you. So I do apply that a lot, because I film everything and I edit everything, and so it for me it's like I already know the vision. Like, I have the vision board already in my mind, and I know I have the skills to do it. So I just apply that to Beuree, literally.
Okay. Yeah. And what would you say your personal philosophy is between inspiration and execution?
Oh my gosh, girl.
Is that heavy?
That is heavy. Do you know what? Let me think about that, because my personal philosophy, I think, don't think too long. And don't ask for too many opinions. Do you know what? I used to be like heavy on like, oh, like, what do you think of this? Like, what do you think of this? And I think it came a lot from thinking like I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But I do know what I'm doing.
You sure do.
Yeah. So you have to like really believe that, oh, you know what? No one really understands. Like, even when I had my logo, I remember my friend Marilyn was like, I don't understand this logo. Like, it's just, I was like, well, you will understand it one day. And now she's like, you know, I really like this logo. It's really grown on me. And I was like, yeah, okay. But people will catch on eventually. Even people that do like art or music, where you're like, I can't find my audience, you will. Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
You absolutely will find them at the end. So I think, don't think too much. And people's opinions are just that. They're their opinions. If you're going somewhere, you only ask the people that are where you're trying to go. And if they're not there, it's that they've had experience in it. And you can take that with a grain of salt. And you should be able to discern if someone is talking from a place of fear or pain, versus a place of, actually opportunity. I think I've learned all of those, like, just in the span of like the last, I think, 9 months. Do you get what I mean? So like, yeah, that's what I would say for that one, actually.
And if you had to tell creatives or entrepreneurs sitting on a bunch of ideas one thing, what would you say to them?
Can I do like a zoom in here?
You're like, look at me. Come to the front.
Listen, there is nobody else like you. A lot of people might have that exact same idea, but there's no one that will do it how you do it. So if you don't do it, all you're doing, if you believe in God, is you're showing God that you can't steward the gift that he's given you. He has given you an idea, which means you have the capacity to execute it. And if you don't do that, you're simply saying, I don't want this gift. I don't need this gift. And guess what? It's not going to grow. It's not going to be pruned. You're just going to remain exactly where you are. So I think just do it. Even if you don't do it well the first time, I promise you by the 5th time, you would be an expert. Like, just keep going. Like, there's nothing stopping you, really, especially in this day and age. Like, there's literally nothing. Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was beautifully said. Like 10-10, no notes. You nailed that.
Thank
and I
you.
completely agree. And if I could add anything on to what you just said, is sometimes, or all the time, I think it's important for us to pay attention to our personal strengths, because those are cues to fulfilling your purpose. I believe that God has, we're perfectly designed, and he's dropped little cues here and there for us to be able to pick up on and fulfill the gifts that he wants us to put out into the world. So just like you said...
That's really good, yeah.
Thank you. Thank God.
She said, I'm going to absorb what you just said.
Yeah, so just like you said, everything you need is already within you.
Exactly.
You just have to obey and trust.
Yeah.
That's your only action. Because once you do that, the road is mapped for you. And like you said, ask the people that have already arrived at the destination for help.
Or you can clearly see that they're heading there. Like, they don't even have to be like Bill Gates yet. They can be on their way, and you're like, oh, there's something I can really learn. Like, I would like to be in their position in a year, like sort of thing. As long as that's the case, I think that would be good for you.
Lovely. Is there a mantra or a mindset that you always keep at the back of your head when you're executing an idea, or even as you navigate entrepreneurship and being a creative?
I think in that moment, how should Joan do it? If that makes sense. It's like, it's weird, because I could have an idea and I might think, oh, like, so many people have done this. But then it's like, okay, how could I do it? How will I do it that it's Joan's idea, Joan's creation, and Joan's vibe? How do I do it like that? And my voice as well. that's what I think every single time. And then I always ask for guidance from God and say like, okay, like just direct me in everything that I'm doing, because I need that divine direction. Yeah. What about you actually for this? Do you have one? I would be curious to know what yours is.
You know what? I actually don't. I think I have a combination of things or philosophies that I try to apply into everything I do. But recently, if I'm really keeping it real, all I say is, Holy Spirit, go before me. That's actually it.
Yeah,
and then I just let
agree.
it flow. But that's me. I think that's just the space I'm in, because he's my strength and I'm just trying to show up each day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
hear that,
I feel like I haven't really had the capacity to even think about a lot of things in depth. So for me, it's just, please go before me and let it flow.
And it will flow. And it's flowing.
Amen. Oh, it is
As you
flowing.
can see, it's flowing.
Love that. So what was modeling for Kai Collective like, and how did that come about?
She was like, yeah, so what was modeling like?
I mean, you were on a podcast.
I mean, do you know what? How did it come about? So they released a thing, a thing on Instagram, and I just said, oh yeah, I'm interested. Oh, they did. What's that thing? They were looking for women to actually test the jeans and give their opinions.
Oh, okay. Like a sample group.
So, yeah, a sample group, exactly. And I was a size 8. I think I might have been the only size 8. And then we went there and I met beautiful, as in, these women are so beautiful. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay, Kai girls are those girls.
Yeah.
And then... so we gave our opinion on the jeans, and Fisayo is actually a really lovely person. She is absolutely killing it, and I think that she's doing so well. The thing I learned from that was just like how she prioritizes the opinions of the people that love the brand rather than like just people in general. But anyway, she's then like, okay, girls, you know what? Do you actually want to be in the campaign? I was thinking of like having the girls be in the campaign. What do you think? Everyone was like, heck yeah, like we want to be in the campaign. So then she's like, okay, cool. So all of us were just thinking like she probably is not going to call us at the end of the day, not because she's not going to stick to her word, but she might find models like that actually are more experienced. And then we all got the email like, oh my gosh, guys, we're actually doing it. Like, that's crazy. And then we went in and there was hair, there was makeup. Everything was so much fun. Like, and the environment was just very, I don't know, it was amazing. And I think I've learned so much from her, like just being around her and seeing how she navigates stuff. And I think when you're in business, when you see someone else in business that is doing a lot better than you, you're thinking immediately, okay, what? Like you start examining them, like without even thinking about it. Like if you met another podcaster right now, like Grace, and you're like, let me see how she talks. Okay, you know, and it's not like you're stalking someone, but it's literally
it's just a subconscious thing. You want to soak everything you can from them. You're
trying to take in everything that she's laying down, really. And I learned so much even just by being there. Yeah, it was really good and it was fun. And I think that I hope that we get to work together again, because I think we've also established this type of connection that's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely love what she's doing with Kai Collective. And you can just tell everything is so genuine and authentic. And that community building, she takes it seriously. Which is really admirable, because it's become a trend now. But she's one of the first people that I would say has always prioritized that from the beginning.
Yeah, from the jump. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Completely.
What's one thing you'd say you've learned from being around her or working with her?
She said this thing on Instagram, but I saw it when she did it in person, when we were in person. She said, I always form my opinion before I ask someone else. So she decides if she likes something first before she asks the public. And I think it showed with the jeans. It showed with when she was doing the campaign. It showed because everything that she did, you can tell, was from her head. But the people that were around her, all they did was add to the idea. They didn't take anything away from it. And she was very specific in the things that she wanted. She wasn't scared to be like, actually, maybe I want this necklace. No, take that off. It's not working. She wasn't also scared to be like, oh, you know what? Just do your thing. Just dance because I want your personality to show. She already knew her vision. And she stuck with it. And I think that's something that I learned. And as a woman, sometimes, especially if you're working with other people in the space, like other professionals that come and work with you on an idea. For instance, if they're male, they might think you don't necessarily know what you're doing as much. And they're just like, and so I remember working on a film and I went on set and I was working with them. And then the guy that was there, he was a gaffer, and he was looking at me like, sort of like I didn't know what I was talking about. And it was only when he went to the producer and came back and he realized that I was the one working with the AD. And he literally, like, his energy, he was so mean to me.
Wow.
And I was just like, first of all,
I'm the boss.
I wish I was the boss. I would have, no, you know what, I wouldn't fire him. But I think, honestly, it was such a moment for me to learn, because then I see that sometimes people in the different fields really just think you don't know what you're doing just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
Like, it's true. And it's not a thing where you feel sad about it. It's just like, you just always have to prove them wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we see it in every aspect of life, even with politicians, with entrepreneurs, with even family dynamics as well. Like,
Girl.
Women hold it down. Don't ever get it twisted.
Thank you very much.
And
I know that's right.
Never ever wrong. And people literally need to give us more credit.
True. I agree.
I think women deserve way more.
But you know what? I think we are getting credit nowadays.
I think so, but I think women make it a thing to give women credit more. I don't think the world has really collectively. I mean, it's getting better, but we can do more. But what I've noticed is women make it a thing to give women their flowers. Whereas I think the world needs to give women their flowers. And not just physically giving them their flowers, but respecting them.
Yeah.
Putting things into action that show that they're important.
I agree.
Because all that talk,
it doesn't really like matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Simply because like you can talk about, I feel like but then this is how I know when a woman has won, is if her name is mentioned and she's not there. Like she doesn't have to be present, and someone else, like, to me, is such a huge win. The fact that, he's told you about this and I wasn't even there. Like I didn't even tell him it. I was just doing my thing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think anyone that I've seen doing something, I make it a point to put their name in another room. Like I make it a point, like, I need musicians for this gig. I know 2 people.
Yeah.
I know this. They're really good at what they do. Yeah, exactly. And if it's a woman, even better. Like I even say, like I push it even harder because I know that she's really good. And unfortunately, she probably had to be a bit
10 times
better
more.
to have the same opportunity. Do you get what I mean? So, yeah, I completely agree with you, girl.
And do you have a personal philosophy or like mantra or whatever when it comes to post-executing an idea? So once the idea has gone to the world now, you've been consistent, you've given yourself like a deadline, like you said, you've made sure you formed your own opinions before you asked other people. Once that's out in the world, what's something you tell yourself to keep yourself going?
Can I be real?
Yeah, this is Real with Rayo.
So, okay, what's next? Literally, I just say, okay, what's next? Because I do it, and I don't think I bought, like when we had a pop-up for Beuree, and it was such a big idea. It was
A scented affair.
Girl, you know things.
I did my research.
Well, yes. So when I thought of the idea, I was like, this is big. Like this is gonna, not because like no one has ever done a pop-up, but it was our first pop-up and it was the first Beuree pop-up. So it's me introducing us to the world. So it was a huge deal for me. But guess what? I didn't think about the actual pop-up until like 2 weeks after. I was just so in the moment. I was so like, okay, I need to post, I need to get the photographer, I need to that I didn't even deep that, oh my gosh, I did the pop-up.
Yeah.
And people came.
Yeah, it happened. You brought the idea to life.
Honestly, and I didn't think about it until like 2 weeks after, and I really deep like, oh wow, I did it. But immediately after, I was like, what's next? Okay, what are we doing next? What's the next thing? And I think it happens to a lot of people. And I don't think it's just me, but it would help to sort of take a moment and kind of reflect and understand that you've done something and you've checked that thing off your imagination board, I would say, and it's come to life and you should be proud of it. So yeah, but I just say what's next.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I do.
And how do you balance everything from screenwriting to entrepreneur to your 9 to 5? How do you do it?
I don't know. I don't know, because I teach. And if you teach, you would know it is a beautiful profession, but it consumes a lot of your mental space because you're planning before you're even at work.
Yeah.
You're planning after work. When you're on holiday, you need like, people are like, oh my gosh, teachers get like so much time off. Listen, it takes us 1 week to leave the mindset of being a teacher. So if we have a 1 week break, mentally we didn't have a break. But if we have like 2 weeks, we only had 1 week off.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, that's how it is. And it's really, it takes the grace of God to be like, you know what? I'm going to mentally switch at this, because you have to be very structured. And I'm always very structured, and I give myself, okay, from this time to this time, we're focused on school and teaching. From this time to this time, we're focused on Beuree. And then if I have anything else in between, then I'm going to make time for that and try and prioritize it. But I focus a lot on Beuree during the weekend, because if I don't do a lot of it in the weekend, then I'm not going to do as much, because I only have maybe 3 hours or 4 hours a day in me. I wake up by 5, maybe 4:30 every day, go to school. I'm in school at 6:30. School starts at 8 and then finishes 4:30, back home. You know, sometimes I go on a run, sometimes I go to the gym. Then I only have like maybe 3 to 4 hours of work in me, and then that's it. And then I have to go to bed. Do you get what I mean? So I have to really navigate and be very, very disciplined with my time. So sometimes I say no, but I'm learning to try and go out a little bit in the week. Like go on like a cheeky date with your friends or whatever you're doing, wherever you want to go with whoever you go. Maybe like on a Tuesday, like just do something. But yeah, I'm very, very strict with my time nowadays compared to how I was before. I wasn't very strict, and now I think it shows that I'm actually putting in a lot more time than I was in the past.
Yeah. So real. Yeah. Absolutely relate. Same.
Really?
Yeah, especially with the time management thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think before, it's so funny because I look back and I'm like, what was I actually doing?
And then like so much time has passed.
And there's nothing to show for it.
No, absolutely nothing. And I completely agree with you as well. But then again, you might not even, your mindset at that point hadn't ripened enough.
Yeah.
You were in a different headspace. And I think now that you're in the headspace that you're in, you're like, you know what? Yeah, clock it.
Yeah.
It's time.
It actually is time.
Yeah, it's time. Do you do that quite often? Like, do you have like a set time every day? You know what? After work, this, that, and that. This is what I'm doing every single day after work.
I'm not as strict in terms of like every single day.
Yeah.
But I do time blocks. So for example, let me show you my calendar.
That's really good.
That I had on Thursday. You can see I literally put specific things. I'm like,
you're very specific on that.
I'm like 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Shower, wax, wash hair. Because I knew I was going to get my hair done.
Okay.
Then
it's okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then I start work at 9:30, but on this day I wanted to start work 30 minutes earlier just so I give myself enough time. Okay. So I just put like 9 to 11 work. So for me,
love a cheeky Bible study.
We do. I'm trying to get better.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, but I find it easier to block my time block and then also have specific goals for each day because I'm also very free flowing. I don't like when things are too rigid. I find that it takes the fun out of it. So once I have like specific ideas and, I like to think of 2 things. I'm like, okay, I absolutely need to do today. Once I achieve those 2 things, if it absolutely cannot wait, I'm not like very strict where I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't do this today. I can't go to bed. I'm rolling over and I'm going to bed.
Jesus.
So, see ya. So, yeah, that's what I do.
I hear that. I think there's room, obviously, to be fluid. I think sometimes the thing with like my creative side, I tend to be more free with it, I think. But the deeper I get into the business, the more I realize how much I have to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like almost scary, like to the point where you're like, okay, if you don't actually think about this thing for this week, like if you don't do this week, you would be 3 weeks behind.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to be very specific, like, and strict for a certain amount of time and say, okay, you know what? This is what I'm doing at this time, and make sure that I try and make it enjoyable for myself. So I do this thing called workspaces.
Oh yeah, on TikTok. I saw that.
I do it. So I always go somewhere that sparks creativity. Every single time that I do what's it called? Like a work session, is in somewhere new. It's never at home, because I tend to get kind of like comfy. My room is literally a sanctuary. So I tend to get really comfy in there, and then I have to go somewhere else.
One of the inspirations behind this podcast was a Japanese idea called Ikigai. Have you heard of it? Yeah. So every episode, I like to ask my guests what their Ikigai is, and that's broken down into 4 different questions.
Okay.
So really quickly, what do you love?
God, myself, my family, my best friends.
How many best friends do you have?
At the moment, I actually think I have 2 closest friends, and that's crazy, because if you asked me this a year ago, I would have said like I could never have like friends I would say are my close friends again. But I have 2 that are amazing people. That's Melanie and Enyo. So like my really close friends. Yeah.
Are they in London?
No. None of my my extremely close friends are in London. No, we're always on the phone. Yeah, always on the phone. Do you find that for yourself as well?
Yeah, some of my friends have moved back to Nigeria now. So.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's far. It's not like a weekend trip. That's
far. No. 6 hours.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for FaceTime.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we use every day. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What are you good at?
I am good at loving people. And I'm very understanding. And I'm good at making the small things, the big things. So I'm really good at celebrating people. And I feel like I just make people feel welcome. I think that's something that I'm good at, yeah.
I love that. You definitely do. I can feel it.
Thank you.
What's something you can be paid for?
Sorry. I like money. What is something I can be paid for? What does that mean?
Like anything, I mean, obviously apart from your business, but you can include your business or like screenwriting. What's like a hidden thing that maybe the world doesn't know that you're good at that you could potentially be paid for?
I think they can pay me for my advice, because I might not take it 100% of the time. I might not take my own advice 100% of the time, but I'm really good at giving it. Yeah. I'm really good at
you're
giving
wise.
It. Thank you. Yeah, I think so about you as well.
What do you... thank you. What do you think the world needs?
I think the world needs more clarity on just everything. I think more wisdom and more guidance.
Yeah.
And obviously peace, because there's a lot of things going on right now that are really terrible in different parts of the world that obviously we are concerned about. So I think a lot of peace, but that comes with wisdom and guidance. And I think that there's only certain places that we can actually get that from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And I just want to wrap up by saying thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For coming on this podcast. It's really, I knew it would be good, just intuitively.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing. And it's really great to see you live the width of your life.
Thank you.
And tap into your different passions and purpose, because I really do feel like you're walking in purpose.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful to see from, you know, the lovely emotional idea you had with Beuree and how you're able to honor your best friend with that, with being of service and being a teacher, but also screenwriting and exploring the different avenues. And I'm just excited to see where life takes you.
I'm excited as well.
It's really beautiful to see all the different ideas you've had and how you've,
thank you,
you know, brought them to life. But to my amazing real ones, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Ideas are divine whispers from God. So when you have an idea, act on it.
Yeah.
You never know what the outcome will be.
True.
But your only goal or your only reason behind this is just to honor it and trust and let God figure out the rest for you. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was so fun. We have to wrap up now.
It was.
But before I go, do you have any question for me?
I wanted to know why you started the podcast. And is there any friend that you feel was key in like actually helping you think, you know what, I can actually do this? Like someone that rooted for you so much that you forgot the people that weren't.
Wow, that's a beautiful question. Okay, I'll answer really, really quickly.
Yeah.
The reason I started this podcast is because I love sharing knowledge and I'm also a very curious person. I learn a lot from watching interviews, listening to other podcasts as well. I listen to so many podcasts and reading books. I don't read as much, but there was a period where I was reading a lot of self-development books and I felt a responsibility to create a platform where people can share knowledge and it's just out there in the world and you take what resonates and you leave what doesn't, and hopefully you gain value from it and you listen or watch each episode feeling, wow, that was amazing, or that was inspiring, or that was a new thought that I'd never been introduced to.
Yeah.
So that's why I started the podcast. And in terms of friends, well, one of my best friends, Rayo, she actually gave me the name Real with Rayo. She named the podcast, yes. And it's funny because at first I was like, no, I don't like that. Think again.
It's catchy. It catches on.
It does.
And you know what, when you said Mariah, I was like, oh, I feel like I know a Mariah that might be in your circle, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's probably her. Like, I'm always with her. I'm always speaking to her. So she gave me the name and yeah, now I absolutely love it and it's stuck. But yeah, I remember when I told her I would actually be going forward with it. She was like, I'm glad you came to your senses.
Oh, yes. I love friends like that. I love friends like that. Honestly, that's what you need.
Because at first I was like, no, think again. I don't like it. I need a name. I need a name. But no, absolutely love it. But honestly, all my friends, like my best friends, they know who they are. They have been so integral to this podcast, but also to even getting me to relaunch again and film today.
Yeah.
Everyone in my life knows how much they mean to me. And they've supported me through everything. And it goes a long way because it's actually not easy. They make me feel like I can do anything, which is really beautiful.
You can.
Thank you.
You can. You just need people to let you, remind you once in a while. Yeah,
exactly.
You really can.
Yeah. Well, you guys can do anything as well. So hopefully this episode sparks a new idea and hope you enjoy. I love you and I'll see you in my next one.
Bye.
Bye.